What's up? You're listening to the SWA 5 podcast, sharing your music and ours and hopefully expanding our tastes and yours.
We are your hosts, the Devil and the Jester, and the aim of this show is to expand your music tastes by sharing your playlists.
Alright, so here's how the show works. Using the magic of Spotify's blend feature, we take our music and the music of a guest and blend them together to create 3 unique and magical playlists. Then we select 5 songs from the other person's offerings that we like and discuss them roundtable style. You'll figure it out as we go, kind of like we are, but it should be good. This is our session 0, essentially, as we iron out the format, so it's just us sharing our music between each other, but it should give you an idea of how this works. We'll hopefully get some guests on future episodes and the fun will really start. But let's outline the golden rule. No serious shitting on anyone's music taste. Period. At the end of the day, music is a deeply personal and subjective thing. It's often called the first language, and was likely to be the thing we used to communicate long before we developed spoken language as a species. It's ingrained in us as sentient beings. As such, we generally can't help what resonates with us as individuals and what makes our brains make the good chemicals. But there is a caveat to this rule. Don't be precious. Just don't be precious. Being precious means you're closed off to other things. You can't let go of your own tastes. And that's not the aim of this. We're here to expand not just our tastes, but yours too. The less precious you are about your tastes, the more fun we'll all have. And with that seriousness out of the way, let's get it started. So, let's start with you.
With me, huh?
Devil, sir. I proposed a show and I blended with you, and I got an interesting playlist.
Very.
Oh, to be honest, I got some stuff that I wasn't expecting, and I got some stuff I was. So, I picked out my favorite 5 songs, the ones that I really enjoyed listening to, the ones I will go through here. But the first one I picked out was, the first one on the playlist at the time was Anna by Darko.
Yes.
Holy shit! What a song, man! Fuck!
Serious banger, mind blower, right?
Absolute, from the intro onwards, I'm just sitting there going, yes. And it never got repetitive. Weirdly enough, they always chopped it and they changed it, and something at the point where I was listening and was like, okay, this is where it just starts to repeat and get a little, I guess, tired to my ear in how intense it was. They would just chop it again and something else would change. Like the music, the instrumentation would change completely, or something else would just cut in at the time. And I'm just like, oh, they knew that what they were doing here. And they just punched it and were just like, we're losing you, come back. Yep. I'm just like, whoa, dude. Whoa. And it was that way from beginning to the end. I'm just like, my jaw dropped. I'm just like, damn, son, that was fucking epic.
Yeah, I'm really, really, really glad you appreciated that, because that is the album that they put that out on was just released 2 weeks ago, but it was a song that they had released months before that, and it was an immediate favorite of mine. I was just like, okay, this is it. This is it. So I'm super glad that you dug that one, man.
Yeah, I mean, that basically takes care of our first 2 questions. The album that came out on was 2 weeks ago, but as I said, they'd had it done for months. Did you hear it before that? Was that when you heard it? You heard it at a live concert?
No, it was released on Spotify.
Okay. So,
same thing with, the last one, because the last album came out, June, July of last year. This one, they had released, 3 or 4 songs prior to it coming out, but it was just kind of over time. One of them was actually released later last year, but it was just one of those songs that just kind of they put out, and the next thing you know, there's an album announcement, and oddly enough, they actually did not give away a large amount of the album like sometimes happens nowadays. It's a lot of tracks on it.
Yeah, I just obviously this is your wheelhouse. These sounds, I guess. But like, when it came to this particular song, like, was it like instantaneous? Like, yes, gotta have it, or was it one of those things where it was just like, all right, and then it slowly grew over time to become the banger that just won't get out of your head, essentially?
Loved it immediately, and then just like my love for it grew. Like the more I just kind of listened to it, and just analyzed the shit out of it, and figured out what I liked, and it was just like, okay, it's one of those songs that makes me speed sometimes. Unfortunately, if I'm listening to it while I'm driving,
it's got that feel, right? Like it's just like I said, it has these moments where like they'll just cut in a completely, like, it's almost like a different genre cuts in at the perfect point where like the previous one starts to lose your ear. Mm-hmm. Like when your brain starts to settle into what it's going to hear, like it's going to be hearing for a while, and it becomes that, not necessarily a drone, I guess, but it's like your brain settles into that feel good point.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, okay, I can jive with this. And they seem to know exactly where, at least in this song, exactly where that point is, and they just punch you in the face with something completely different. Like, have we got your attention back again now? And you're just like, whoa! So I can imagine when that happens, you just suddenly the needle just starts going up because the pace never stops, but the instrumentation and the way they put the song together does. Like it completely flips, and it's just like, oh wow, just like, oh, I'm now doing 150 kilometers an hour, and I wasn't expecting that,
Yeah. Yep.
It just feels like that. Like, yeah, I get that for sure. Like, I don't drive, but it is that feeling. Like it's a fight song. Like it feels like a fight song, like a song you would hear in a pit.
Yeah, definitely.
So, when it comes to this song and this artist in particular, what is the one thing about them that you love? Like, is there any particular aspect that does stand out as something that consistently keeps bringing you back?
Oh man, it's not necessarily as like technical as a lot of the stuff. I really tend to like just kind of very technical, busy music, and it's not that it's not either of those things. It's very like kind of like groove oriented, but it's the fact that it's two guys doing this.
Okay, that's news to me. Like that's just two guys making that big a sound.
Yeah, so Josh Miller, he was in Amur, and he's basically doing all the instrumentation, and then Tom Barber, original singer of Lorna Shore, is currently also singing in Chelsea Grin. So Tom's been around for a while. I wasn't like stoked on his vocals at first. Like the more he kind of evolved, I definitely started getting into him. Definitely more so after like he kind of ended up in Chelsea Grin. I was like, okay, it was a weird vocalist shuffle between a few bands. But like he does a lot of different things vocally I haven't really heard him do before, and he's all over the spectrum. Like, I mean, there's not a whole lot of cleans that he does, more so on the new album than like the EP and the last album, but he does a lot of different things that just, especially all at once, and he doesn't like, he doesn't do these same things in Chelsea Grin. He kind of tends to keep the things separate. He's still got his own Tom stuff, but the stuff that he does in Darko, he doesn't bring that into Chelsea Grin, so it's nice. And I never really got into Amur at all. I didn't really dig it, but like what Josh is doing musically in his band is definitely very different. You can kind of still get that feel. There's a lot of still kind of like the same sort of a writing style, but the music itself has this weird kind of dark, eerie thing always going on in the background, and it's just it's so goddamn groovy, dude. Like I just cannot help but bang my head so hard listening to it. It just it punches, like you were saying, it just punches you in the face, man, and I love it. Absolutely love it.
I feel that absolutely for sure. Like this one went straight onto my playlist. Like I was just like that. I listened through the whole thing, and I was just like sitting here in my chair, and I'm just like, I got to hear that again.
Yeah.
And then I heard it again, and I'm like, yep, that's gone straight on my playlist. I don't even care. Like, I gotta listen to it again. Like, it's not generally my thing. Like, it's not. Like, there's a lot to it that just never it never crosses my doorway, I guess. Like, and just having that come in just blew me away, and I was just like, I've got to have it again. And it just went straight onto my playlist, and every time it comes up when I'm playing through it, I'm just like, fuck yeah.
It's one of those songs that's just like a no skip. It's definitely a no
skip.
It's
just like, oh boy, good lord, yes. So what about, this is one of those questions it's difficult for most people to answer, because like I said, like we said at the beginning, music is subjective and we don't really know what's going to make us do the good stuff or whatever. But is there anything about either the song or the act that isn't quite so hot in general? Like perhaps they don't stick to something, or like, is there a particular, just some sort of aspect that you just sort of think, that didn't work for me? Well, that doesn't work for me.
Man. Okay. The one thing that I think does kind of get to me sometimes, I've found it easier to ignore nowadays, because I just have to accept the fact that this is a thing now. Like, it's not really going anywhere, but like, the kicks and the guitar strokes basically lining up throughout most, if not the entire song. Like, it's kind of a songwriting thing that I don't mind, and granted, the shit fucking slaps, it hits hard, it's heavy, I get it. But I really appreciate when there's a lot more going on drum-wise than just constant, like, you know, the kicks always hit with guitar strokes. Always. You know what I mean? And that, branch out from that just a little bit. And it does happen more on the newer album, but I guarantee you, if you pretty much throw in like the last album or the EP, the kicks and guitar strokes every time. Always just right on top of each other. There's a part of my brain that says it's lazy songwriting. You know, it's just like, oh, just follow the fucking, you know, have all my kicks follow the fucking guitar strokes. It's kind of strong. I don't want to say necessarily lazy songwriting, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, no, I mean, when you fall in, like, I guess it comes down to, like, I have little to no music theory. I enjoy my music specifically for the way it makes my brain feel. Mm-hmm. And then, you know, if it makes me feel good, then it's a song that I like and enjoy and will continue to listen to.
Yeah.
The technical aspects, I can appreciate them, even if I can't name exactly what they are. Like, that what you described to me sounds a little genty. But, like, yeah, like, it's one of those things where when you find that groove, like, it's the junk food feeling. Like, that particular combination makes your brain go, whoa, and it works.
Yeah.
You know, and I can understand why some bands, or a lot of bands, would like, one, the way it sounds, and two, the effect it has on the audience, that it is a punchy sound that people recognize and keep coming back to.
Yeah. It's definitely very effective.
Yeah, it can feel lazy because it's everywhere now. It's fucking everywhere. Bands discovered they could do this and were just like, fuck it, do it. Because it works, you know? It's just, yeah, I get what you're saying, yeah. And, you know, I'm sure as I delve deeper into their discography, I'll find more aspects like that. But yeah, like, definitely check out Anna by Darko, because that song fucking slaps, man. I can't. Holy fuck. Speaking of shit that slaps, Monuments. Fuck!
Yeah? You like that shit, buddy?
Origin of Escape. Oh my god, like, I just... Good lord. Like, another one of those songs that's just... Oh, I couldn't even tell... I think I think what I like the most about Origins of Scare, this song in particular, and Monuments, is they give me Architects vibes. Like a heavier Architects, which I like a lot. I love Architects a lot. Great band, but a little more mellow in terms of what they're going for.
Yeah.
And I was just sitting there going, if Architects just went ham, I think this is what it would sound like. And I'm just like, I could dig it. But man, it was just one of those songs where I literally couldn't tell you what happened during the song. This was one of those songs to me that it got into my brain and just kind of sedated me in like all the best ways. It was just like, if I did weed, this would be a song I'd listen to while I was on it. Like, I'd just be laying back, smoke haze, listening to this song, because it just has that, to me it has that mellow vibe, which if you listen to the song you don't expect that from, but if you're in the headspace for this type of music, in that vein, like in that headspace, I could just see me just laying back and just drooling, literally. Like, such a fucking good song. Like, whoa. Like, yeah. Another one that went straight on my playlist. I just couldn't. It wasn't another one of those things where I had to immediately listen to it afterward.
Mm-hmm.
It was one of those things where I just kind of kept going through the playlist. But I went back to it, and that's when I knew that the song was going to be something, when I went back to it. When I was like, what's that song that I was listening to that made me just vibe out? That's the one right there.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Yep.
Sweet.
Yep. That is the jam. That is actually my favorite song off of that album, without a doubt. That song is just... the way it's written, the way it's arranged, just like... They did very well. That's all I can say. Like, that whole album itself is phenomenal.
It's amazing. Again, instant love, or did it take time? Like, that one took time for me, I admit.
Yeah. I want to say it took some time. It was definitely one that, like, grabbed my interest at first, but my whole thing is like, it was a different singer on that album than on the first one, so it was a lot to get used to. Like, his vocal styles, I mean, he's basically doing the same thing, but just like his range, like his voice, it's just something of a contrast. So trying to adjust to that was something else. Like, the sound itself, it was, I want to say, a little bit calmer than the first album in a sense, but I adjusted. I got, used to it, comfortable with it, and like learned how to appreciate it properly. Like, that album is definitely a lot more to take in than the first album for sure. And it just analyzing it, listening to how much, like, the way the song grabs you in the beginning, and then, like, during the verse, the music's very calm, and like how you were saying, it just kind of like, just kind of relaxes you and just gets you like nice serene place, you know what I mean? And it kind of starts building up and then hits you with that opening riff again, and it's just the way it swells into that was just so artful. It was fucking artful as fuck, man.
It was almost like serious, like prog rock vibes kind of gave me. It was just like this. It was the build up. It was definitely like it just kept building and building and building, and when it did finally go, it was like at the right time, and then it kept going at that. It wasn't so much for a plateau, but it was like it never let you go. Like, it never stopped being interesting to listen to. But at the same time, like I said, it had that sedative effect on my brain where I was just like, oh, okay, yeah, this is where we are now. I'm good with this. Like, I just, yeah, leaning back in my chair, just sort of slow headbanging, weirdly enough, like just, I'm good with this. Like, it's just this constant, like, my head never stopped moving. It was so good. But again, like that particular aspect, we went in like the way it sort of like builds essentially. But like, is that an aspect for all of their songs? Like, is that a thing they always do? Like, is that something that grabbed you about them? Like, is that one of those aspects that you really love? Like, what is it that keeps bringing this band back? This or even just a song. You said it's a killer song from your favorite song from that album. So what is it that just sort of keeps bringing you back? Like, is it just the way it sounds, the way it just is so well put together? Like, it's a masterfully created song. That's some fucking alchemy we've got going on here. Like, that's crafted shit, man.
Yeah, it's mostly that, honestly. It's just oh god. Okay, so it's a concept album. And it's basically like it's based off of the Samsara wheel. And dude, especially like the lyrics to that song is just, they're so good. It's kind of like the jump off point for the story for me. Like, it's just, oh man. And like, just it took me a while to get adjusted to the vocals, but once I really did, I was like, this guy's actually phenomenal. Like, his name's Chris Barretto. I think he's like the only American dude in that band. The rest of them are from the UK. And yeah, he's amazing. He's amazing. And just I feel like that song really showcases what he can do. For sure. It's very, very broad. Like his screams, his growls, like are just such a stark contrast to his cleans, and I really appreciate that kind of shit.
Absolutely. Like, I was just blown away by the whole thing. Like, I think that track would work without the vocals just as well.
Oh yeah. Like,
the instrumental version of that song, that instrumentation is just fucking chef kiss and a half. Like, there aren't, like, there's not a lot of songs that I think, personally, a lot of songs in metal, in prog, that can work without the vocals to tie things together. Because it just kind of feels like that it needs it in a lot of aspects. But this, like, the vocals just add to it. They don't detract. Like, taking them away wouldn't detract anything from the song at all.
I agree.
And the vocals are just like, yep, that is just the literal icing on that cake. It just utter perfection. This one I honestly did not expect to see on this list at all. Rocket Skates by Deftones. I honestly did not expect to see this in this playlist. And I gotta be honest, I hadn't heard this one before. I'm a basic bitch when it comes to Deftones. I own White Pony. That's it. Like, the definitive Deftones album. But that's basically it. And this isn't on it, obviously. Otherwise I would have heard it before. It's Deftones. If you've heard the Deftones, you know it's more Deftones, but it's still a fucking good song. Like, if you know Deftones, you know Chino's voice is just fucking... How that man has such beautiful, angelic, like, cleans, and then suddenly just dips into this fucking, like, screamo voice from out of fucking nowhere. I was sitting here thinking, it's more Deftones, but, like, that's not a bad thing. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, like, educate me on this song. Because I had to have it. I had to have it.
This song was, I can't remember when the hell Diamond Eyes came out, but that's the album that it's on.
It's 90s, surely.
2000 something.
Really?
Yeah, this was, let me see.
It's got to be early.
Where is it? There it is. Okay, 2008.
Okay.
So
it feels 90s.
I feel like they kind of went back, like, on this album, they kind of hit some of their more, like, earlier groovy kind of, like, feel.
Yeah.
Like, I don't really feel like there was a whole lot of that on White Pony. I don't hate the album, but there was, like, a period of the Deftones where I wasn't, like, too into what they were doing, and then Diamond Eyes came out, and I was like, this shit is fucking dope. Like, I don't hate, like, the calmer aspect of Deftones at all, but I really appreciate their groovy, heavy shit. Really appreciate that shit. And that song gave it to me.
This song gave me, like, real, like, this felt like a song, like, to me, like, I grew up, I'm a 90s kid. I grew up in the mid 80s. I was born in the mid 80s, and I grew up in the 90s, and but this song felt to me like the song you would hear at, like, a teenage party. It's like 2:00 in the morning, Saturday morning. This would be the song you'd hear while the party's winding down, but the corn is still playing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like it didn't feel out of place in a playlist that would have, like, Korn or even Limp Bizkit would be in this playlist. Like, it sounds like sacrilege to say, but, like, it's one of those things where it's just like, it felt like it had that same playlist vibe of, like, the party's still, like, half the party's passed out on the front lawn, the other half is still inside, banging to these this sounds, like, it's just, it wouldn't feel out of place in a late 90s teen movie to me. And the fact that it came out in 2008, just, like, that, like I said, that surprised me. This is just, it has that much earlier feeling to it for me, and I dug it. Like, it's Deftones, but it's like, it feels like early Deftones.
Yeah, like, kind of, like, around
I
the
can't really
era.
explain it. Yeah, exactly. Like, something about it. Like, it's no Passenger, but it belongs in the same playlist to me. Like, I dig it. It's Deftones.
Yeah.
I mean, do we really need to go through the list of questions for Deftones? Like, I honestly don't think anyone who doesn't know Deftones doesn't know exactly what the Deftones are.
Yeah.
Like,
you have to know Deftones. If you don't know Deftones, what the fuck is wrong with you at this point, basically?
Right? Like, it's almost like quintessential. Like, they transcend genre almost.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like they can definitely pull a lot of, different ears and interests. Like, and probably introduce them to other ones as a result.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because they put so much together. They're another one of those bands that does that, like, brutal and beautiful thing at the same time very well. You know what I mean? It's just... Yeah. Maybe brutal's a little overboard, because I don't really think there's a whole lot of, like, what people consider brutal in there. But it's just, they've got the heavy, they've got the angelic. It works.
They are a band of contrasts.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So I'm just, if it's all right, I'm just going to move straight on to the next one, because I think this one you're really going to want to get into.
Uh-oh.
I don't know how the hell. Like, this is not a song I would listen to. It just isn't. Bonebreaker, Slaughter to Prevail.
Wow, I'm actually surprised to hear this.
It's 100% down to the basically bite the hand that feeds you line. Or eat the hand that feeds... I barely can remember it, but it's just something about that song. I'm just sitting and going... I'm listening to this and I'm not hating it. And it's not like it's not the song's not bad. Like, it's not bad by any means. Like, that's not what I'm saying. It's just one of those things where it's just like, it's not a song that I would seek out. Because I mean, to be honest, Slaughter to Prevail, the name doesn't, like, I'm just sitting here going, honestly, that sounds like a teenage screamo band name. Like, it's got that little bit too long feel to it that a lot of those, like, early 2000s screamo, like Bullet for My Valentine, as we've been talking about a long time ago, they had that kind of feel to it. No, I was wrong. I sat and listened to it. I was like, okay, I dig this. I dig the fucking shit out of this. Something about this just works. When did this song hit your brain? Like, and Why? Like, holy fuck, this song is fucking great.
I'd say, okay, so I never heard the song until the album itself was actually released. They had, been putting out a few songs prior to the album's release, but that wasn't one of them. And it was actually, it's the lead track on that album. And I kind of threw it in, and at first, it took me a minute to figure out the vibes that I was kind of getting off of it. But, like, once it kind of started and kicked in, like, kind of caught it, started banging my head. I was like, this is amazing. And just kind of the overall flow of the song, just, it's fucking great. There's this just elbow and punch everybody in the vicinity kind of thing that it has to it. And it's just, it's a thing of beauty. It's such a thing of beauty.
Again, this is another one of those ones, like, same with Origin of Escape. It doesn't have that same vibe. Like, it's not a song that I could just lean back and vibe out to. This is a song that I would punch a fucking wall to.
Yep.
Like, if I'm having a bad day, I'm putting a hole in a wall to this song. But it's weird. Like, I had to do just the tiniest bit of research, and I'm probably entirely wrong because most of my research was literally just looking at the fucking front of the album cover. But, like, are they Russian? Like, are they actually a Russian band? Or because they speak German in half this song, and then there's English lyrics as well, and I'm just like, well, actually, no, there's Russian, sorry, not German. Russian, and then English lyrics as well. I'm just like, what? Who are these guys? And like, there's clean and, like, brutal, harsh lyrics, and I'm just like, the clean lyrics, honestly, sound amateurish compared to the brutal lyrics.
Mm-hmm.
But it's only because it's not their native language, I guess, and they're just saying the English sentence without the proper cadence and flow that it would normally have, I guess. Mm-hmm. And I'm just sitting here going, why does that work? Why does that work for this song? Why do I like it so much? Like, I can't explain. This song just works when everything in my brain says it shouldn't.
Mm-hmm. It's, so they're basically, Alex Terrible, the vocalist, is pretty much like the main kind of driving force behind that band, really. He's from Russia. Yevgeny's also from Russia. Jack Simmons, the guitar player, he's actually from the UK. So it's basically pretty much based in Russia. Like, okay. I don't know what happens with, like, the people that fill in, because as far as I know and have paid attention to, it's basically just the drummer and the guitar player who, writes all the other stuff, and Alex, vocalist. Most of the lyrics on the EP were actually in Russian. There was a few songs that had, like, bits and pieces. Their second release did a lot more, English. There was still a lot of, Russian mixed with English, but this one kind of, there's still more English going on, and not just, kind of an overlap. Well, let me rephrase that. There's more English being spoken than Russian now, which is kind of nice. You don't have to be, like, trying to translate this shit, because I can't speak Russian for shit. I don't even want to try.
Yeah. No. Da. It's the extent of my Russian. That and dos vidanya. That's about it. I'm pretty sure they don't use that anyway. Yeah. Yeah. So this last one of yours, I'm going to be honest, I'm in this just for the vibes that it gives off. Just 100%. Like, the song doesn't interest me. Like, I mean, it does. Like, it's on the list, but it's one of those songs that I listen to and I'm just like, I just dig the way this sounds.
Yeah.
This is Deadfall by Snot.
Love it.
The name just grosses me the fuck out. Like, it's in that vein of that punk aesthetic of, like, we're just gonna name something that's gross just to, like, really, like, annoy the squares. Like, it's just like, this is a song that this is a band that you're not going to listen to because it's called Snot. Like, the Butthole Surfers. Like,
yes.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like that's the vibe. The song, like, this song, like, I discussed this with you like in a little bit. This song gave me massive Ministry vibes for some reason.
Yeah.
Like this is just like I was listening to this going, this feels like down home south, like Jesus built my hot rod, like something about it. I was just like, I like this song. Like I just like it's hellbilly almost. Like I'm listening to a song going, what is going on? What am I listening to?
Kind of like a
and why do I like
hellbilly.
it?
I'll buy that actually.
Yeah. It's punk hellbilly to me. Like it's just like this band looked at Scar and went, fuck off, we can do that but better.
Well, that part like halfway through the song, like that kind of enforces that for sure. I feel like I love this. I don't know why, but I love this. Like it plods along in that bouncy like, and I'm just like, I can't get enough of this. Like what? Again, complete virgin to this song, but like, where did this come from? Yeah, it's probably like the most deferring song on that album. I feel like there's like kind of like a certain energy that's on that album, and then like this song kind of comes in, and it's just so frantic. Kind of, it's like frantic held back a little bit. Like it's just something about it.
Punk rednecks,
huh?
It's punk rednecks.
Yeah.
That's what's coming to my head. Man. I don't know what it is. Like, it's Cotton Eye Joe done by punks.
Farmers with Liberty Spikes.
Yeah, like I was this another one of those songs? It was just like you heard it and had to know, had to have it. Like I'm genuinely interested. Like this song, out of all of them, I'm just like, where did this come from?
So the funny thing about that song is I think the only reason why I popped in there is because I've been listening to that album a lot lately. There's actually songs of the album I like a lot more. But it just, every song on that album is just so amazing. That's like the fucking Snot album. God fucking damn it. Like that's... That song I definitely appreciate though, in spite of that fact, just because it's just... The energy is so just like, and just like you were saying, like the whole, just kind of like, punk hillbilly. It's just, yeah, it's a nice little kind of funny, lighthearted thing going on in there,
Yeah, I just, yeah. So you say this is a song that's different from everything else that's basically, at least different enough from every song on the album that you notice it, I guess.
Yeah.
So, and you did mention that there are other songs that you like a lot more, but like, what is it about a band called Snot? I have to ask, like...
It's... You'd almost expect something like, more like just straight punk, like crust punk, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Something, that they're like this weird kind of like just groovy fucking... Sometimes mellow, like for a moment, kind of fucking. Let me find this album real quick. So yeah, lead track, title track, Snot is just. Dude, that to me is like. That's Snot. Even some of their earlier songs on earlier albums were just. They were very unique. They were definitely very, very unique, and even the style of the music, it makes sense. It's not what I feel people would initially expect when they hear the band name Snot, but it still fits. You're just like, yeah, that makes nothing but sense.
No, it really doesn't. It's like. Deadfall by Snot. Like, just give it a listen, because I guarantee you'll listen and go, what the fuck am I listening to? And why haven't I turned it off yet? That was honestly what was going through my brain. I'm just like, what what the fuck am I listening to? And why am I still listening to? Why am I still listening? Why is this good? Why is this good? And I'm just like, yeah, okay, I'm feeling this. I'm feeling this. I like this a lot. Now it's on my playlist. Like, it's just, this was literally a slow burner for me, but when it hit, and I'm just like, yep, all right, we're done. I'm in for this. I'm in for this ride now.
Yep. Go ahead and take me by the hand. Let's go.
Yeah, pretty much. What is there anything about this band that doesn't work for you?
I don't know, man. I don't really think I can find anything. Like,
that's fair too.
To me, like, that's not as a really good band. If you're driving for a long time, you can just honestly go through their discography. Like, I could do like a road trip. Like, if it's a fucking 8-hour drive, I could just listen to Snot that whole time. Like, that's cool. Like, I'll just rotate through their shit. Let's go. It's just very... It's kind of like one of those bands I can listen to fit any fucking mood. If I'm happy, mad, sad, depressed, like, it will scratch any itch that needs to be scratched.
Okay.
I feel.
All right.
At least for me personally.
No, that's totally fair. Like, again, like, we're not always going to come up against, things about the bands that aren't so great. Like, it's fine. That, like, that's what the question's on there for, because sometimes you can. Sometimes there is aspects of the band that's just like, I dig their music, but, like, some of the other stuff ain't so great.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think, like, I'll have, like, the playlist at the bottom of the, in the show notes, I guess, in the run notes. But, like, that was, honestly, those songs, they're not coming off my playlist. Like, they're not, none of them. Like, I found some good shit that I will come back to. Like, they're staying on my playlist. That's all there is to it. Like, I can't. That's not much else I could say. Like, this is some good stuff that four out of 5, I did not expect to have any kind of enjoyment out of, like, because they wouldn't come across normally in my day-to-day playlist viewing. Even when I do the, how Spotify does the related music kind of thing, because I go through that all the fucking time. Mm-hmm. This stuff wouldn't come up. It just wouldn't. None of it would. So, like, that's kind of the thesis of this show. Like, because I would have missed out on this stuff.
Yeah. It's kind of a shame when you think about it. It's just kind of stuff is just barely maybe out on the fringes of where, like, your line, your boundary is, and this could just be that one little step. There's one element to it that keeps it out of your bubble. You know what I mean? It's just...
I'm searching out more Darko. I am, because I have to have more. Like, Slaughter to Prevail, maybe not so much, but Bonebreaker, I'm definitely keeping. Something about that song just works for me. Monuments, I'm definitely checking out more of their discography. Deadfall by Snot, I might check out more of their stuff, I might not, it depends on how I feel, but that song, something about that just works, man. I can't describe it. It just works. And every time it comes on, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to leave this one. I'm going to leave this one on. I'm going to leave this one going.
I'm honestly surprised to hear some of those make it into your playlists, and I'm very glad that you got some good shit out of that, man.
Thanks for sharing with me, man, because that was a ride.
Yes, that's what I like to hear, man. That's exactly what I like to hear.
Alrighty, so
it's your turn, mister.
It is my turn. Oh boy, here we go. I'm both dreading and kind of looking forward to this. Because my playlist is incredibly eclectic, so
bro.
I'm interested to hear what is coming out of your mouth in the next 45 minutes.
Let me put it to you like this: there were a lot of things that I found myself, like, getting really into. That I was like, what am I doing right now? Why the fuck am I banging my head to this? I'm all like, fucking, okay, so did not make it onto you know the list, but I will say Doggy God Street. I didn't skip it a whole lot, man. Like, it's just so bouncy. I was like, this is too much. Like, I don't even know what the hell this girl is saying, but it was just, there were a lot of changes in it, and I appreciate that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? But, no, you're definitely in quite the ride itself. I will definitely say that, my guy. Something you're probably not at all surprised by was Professional Help by Freak Kitchen. Like, something about that opening riff was just very like, huh, alright, let's go. And then just the ride that song takes you on. Like, oh, dude. When was the first time you got into this? Like, what was your introduction?
Freak Kitchen are incredibly new to me. I haven't gotten into them in the last, 2 months or so.
Really?
Yeah, they are incredibly new to me. It started with Freak of the Week, which is another song you've also heard. Because the video for that song is fucking amazing.
It's insane.
It's an insane fucking video. But, I loved the vibe that they were going, like the songs and the lyrics and all the rest of it. Freak Kitchen, they're just so basic, but also they've got this weird layered depth to their music that just I can't get out of my head. So I started listening to Cooking with Pagans, and that album is now one of my top 5. I can't stop listening to that fucking album, man. And Professional Help is just so fucking good. It's I think it's the lead on the album, the first song, and it just doesn't stop from there. That whole album just doesn't stop. But Professional Help, it got to me more than Freak of the Week did.
Yeah,
because it doesn't drop. It starts at one level and just keeps going up. It just keeps going up.
Yeah.
And, when you expect it to come down towards the end, it doesn't. It just keeps going. And I don't know how Matthias manages to get his voice to do that. Because it's... That song has been on my list for, I think, maybe 3 weeks. Mm-hmm. But it gets so much fucking playtime. It just does. I can't... it's such a good fucking song. Wow. For a 3-piece, those guys make music that sounds like a full 7-piece fucking band.
Yeah.
We've talked about this, but something about the Swedes, just they have this talent of making themselves sound bigger than they are as a band. This is a 3-piece band. 2, a lead guitarist, a bassist, and a drummer. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all they are. Mm-hmm. But they sound bigger, and it's just so good. So good.
Definitely. So was this kind of a song that you just instantly were like, yes, love it, this is my jam?
Yeah.
Or didn't need no time? Yeah. It was just there, huh?
No, it didn't need any time at all. There are some songs on the album that take a bit to get used to, but Saving Up for an Anal Bleach, that one's a song that takes a bit to get used to.
It does.
When that beginning, weird off tone, kind of off rhythm kind of thing, it you can't pin down what time signature that song's supposed to be in until Matthias opens his mouth, and then it immediately slips into 4/4, and it's how did I not see this before? But the Professional Help was just was instantaneous. I was I'm digging this, I love this off the bat. They picked a banger to open up that album with, and that album is full of pretty good songs.
Yes. No, it's definitely a very solid, beginning to end album for sure. I got sucked in just because of that song. Yeah. I gave them more of a chance than the other 2 songs that you had posted. The video for Freak of the Week was I appreciate the song more now after kind of getting used to these guys, but it was Yeah.
It rides on the video a lot of the time when you first start listening to it, because like without that video, it works, but if it's your only exposure to them, it fades away pretty quick.
Definitely.
Because without that video, it doesn't matter. But when you take that song with the rest of that album, it's just like, oh, okay.
Yep.
Banger.
So, what's one thing that you really love about that song and the artist?
It's Marius's rise. Like he starts off like he's got a real vocal, like it feels like it's coming from his chest, but also his neck. Like he's got this kind of like it's I can't replicate it obviously, but it's a very distinct sound that he makes, but he can rise it.
Yeah.
You know, he starts at like a middling thing, and then it just keeps going up and up and up, and it never loses that gravelly tone, but the pitch just keeps going up, and it feels, especially in Professional Help, it feels like he doesn't have a top end. Like he could just keep going up if he wanted to.
Yeah.
And every verse starts off a little bit higher, and a little bit higher, and the chorus gets a little bit higher, and a little bit higher. And then, like, there is a point where it drops back down, but you almost don't notice it. Because it almost goes back up to that same pitch, and the song keeps building onto itself.
Yeah, definitely.
So when it gets to that high point, all of the production work they've been doing in that song just coalesces, and you just start banging, like, just start sitting there going, you know, just like, life will kill you, and there's no one you can call for professional help. Like that drop, that gap, like when you're singing along to the rest of it, and it just puts that little like semisonic closing time kind of beat shift into that, and I'm just like oh my god, I can't, like, it's so good. It's so good for something that just doesn't. It's their instrumentation. It's the way they sound bigger than they are, and Mattias's voice just works. So, and you know me, you know that I'm generally not someone that digs dude vocals. I don't hate them, but I definitely have my preferences towards, you know, female vocalists. I could listen to Maddie's voice for days, hours. It just works.
He does have a phenomenal voice.
It's so good. And we just found out the man's a guitar virtuoso.
Yep. I need to actually pick up like some of the albums that was mentioning, because I'm really curious, you know, to see him just like uncaged. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Look up Matthias Eklund and find out, like, he's just that's it. Like, he just so good. So good.
That's what I'm talking about. Well, do you have anything about the artists that you don't really dig on?
I love Freak Kitchen, but this may be a cultural thing as well, or it may just be like because they're Swedish. They can be a little preachy, just a little bit preachy in their lyrics, in terms of they are very critical of our modern life. There's a lot to be critical of, like, but there is a very much an undercurrent of almost belittlement of convenience and you know, the way that people are. Granted, people are glued to their phones, but like for a lot of people, myself included as well, that comes because of the cost of the way we live.
Yeah.
And it can feel just a teensy bit judgmental of people who enjoy the conveniences of modern life. That can irk me just a little bit. It's nothing that I'm like I can't look past.
Yeah.
Like Saving Up for an Anal Bleach is all about that. Like the whole album is all about that. Like, but like that one is just like, you know, looking down at your phone or you know, taking shit shots on Instagram all the bloody time. It's just like, are they hurting you? Leave them alone. You know? Yeah, it can be annoying, but like, is it affecting your life in any way, shape, or form?
Yeah.
Like, okay, just back it up a little bit, okay? I get it, okay? I get it. But yeah, like it's nothing major, but they can be just the teensiest bit preachy. Just a little bit.
Fair. Yeah, that's definitely that song sealed the deal with that artist for me, honestly. Like that I ended up listening to Cooking with Pagans like 2-3 times, like in a row, back to back in one sitting. It was just took me for a ride.
I remember sharing the album with you.
Yep.
On Discord, and you were like, "I'll check this out when I'm on the road," and you were like, "I listened to it." Gave me a couple of days to listen to a fair few amounts. It's really like, yeah.
It didn't really grab me then, honestly. It really didn't.
No, it didn't grab me either. That's the thing. Like it like, because I listened to bits of the album, like because I listened to it on shuffle.
Yeah.
But when I sat and I listened to the album, like I actually sat down and fully just immersed myself in the album and listened to it. And they started off, because Professional Help never came across when I was just doing that quick flick through of that album. Mm-hmm. But when they started that off with that song, I was like, all right, yep, no, okay, I need to dedicate my full attention to this album.
This is what you got.
Yeah, exactly. We're starting off heavy and we're starting off good, and then we just kept getting better.
Yes.
Just kept getting better and better. Like, okay, yep. I love every single song on this album. I just do. Some I love more than others, but every one is really good.
Not lying. All right. So this may or may not be a surprise to you. We'll see. But Requiem of the Drunk by the Dirty Youth.
That is a surprise.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Dude, okay.
It's a fucking good song.
Very. Okay, so here's the thing about that song. Like, the energy and the way that it kind of like changes, like it kind of almost like verse versus chorus, like how it led into each other and just all of that. What the fuck, dude? And it like didn't really necessarily lose the energy. It kind of like ebbed you off of it a little bit, but it kind of like, dude, like the lyrics, like all of it, like that. Just the chorus was my favorite part. It just honestly, it was, great fucking song.
Yeah, it's really, really good. That surprises me because like they came across my path when I was listening to yours truly, kind of a pop punk band here down here. Think Paramore with a bit more edge.
Okay.
And in my related list was suddenly the Dirty Youth, and I'm like, what? And that album cover grabbed me to start with, like that the half bitten lip,
mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, all right. I'll listen to this. What came across my list first was a song called "Fight," and that is literally just it's another like energetic, powerful, like basically punk song. And that one came across, and I was like, all right, I'm digging these vocals. Like she's got this massive range, like it's mostly all clean, but then there's this points where she does just dip into that scream, and I'm just like, whoa, hello, hi, and I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna give them some time. Give this song, that song got me immediately, and then this one came across the Requiem for the Drunk, and I'm just like, this feels like a pub song. What got me was when early on in the song, when they said, when she goes, I need to slow it down. And then the musical instruments slow down. Like the whole song just slows down. And then goes back to like I was just like, okay, well done. Well done.
Like the little spooky in the background, like it just really sold that part too.
I was just like, well done. Okay, yep, cool. And it brought to mind like one of those scenes from a movie where someone's in a bar fight and the camera's glued to their face and they're moving around like this and dodging chairs or whatever. It's like a really rowdy, raucous pub fight.
Yeah.
and it just kind of like, and that slow down bit is when it just slows right down. The chair goes over there, and then it just continues on, and just that song has just so much energy and life to it. I'm just like, all right, I love this.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I want to get drunk and I want to get stoned with you, and it's like, oh, okay, cool, yep.
Now, did this song, like, you know, was this instantly just like, oh, this is awesome, or was that kind of a grow on you kind of thing?
This one grew on me.
Yeah.
This one took a couple of plays. I chucked it onto my music playlist like the first time I heard it, just because I like the Dirty Youth, like I like their previous song. And their previous song, at the time, I was in my feelings at the time when I had that song.
Mm-hmm.
But I chucked that song on my playlist. And I kind of forgot about it. And then I was just listening to my playlist, and it came up at random. I was like, this sounds like the same band that did Fight. And then I looked at it, I was like, it was the same band that did Fight. And then I was like, hold on, okay, go back to the beginning. And then that slow down bit happened. It goes, okay, this band takes the piss out of itself. This band knows how to have fun with the music that it's making. And I like that. I like a band that's just like, they make good music, but they know how to have fun with the music that they're playing and work with that and work that fun into the song itself. So when that slow down bit happened, I was just like, all right, okay. And then the song just kept getting like more punchy and a lot more fun to listen to. And the ride was just like, all right, yep, okay, cool. By the end of it, I was just like, all right, I'm glad I stuck this on my playlist. Like, it's a fun song. It's just this. It's almost like a stress relief song. Like, it's a song you can throw on to just at the end of a long, hard day. Just la 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 la. Let's get drunk. Yep, I want what she's having.
Yep.
Like, done.
That's actually the part of the song that fucking sold me. Like, I was really into the energy of it, but then, like, when it goes into that, and I'm just like, this is the point? Like, okay, let's go. Like,
yep.
Let's fucking do this. That's all there is to it. So what do you really love about, you know, just the artist of the song in general?
We covered this, but I really dig female vocalists, and it's because I love the contrast between a lot of the times, especially when it comes to like symphonic metal or even like the pop punk and rock sort of aspect. I like the contrast between the tone that female vocalists can put out versus male vocalists, alongside some of the heavier, harsher musical score that goes behind them. I think that works really well. And when a good band kind of, the production works to fold that in, especially in symphonic metal, for example, it just brings a whole new experience to the music for me. Like, even in this song where there's no real, it's clean, but it's not like low clean, it's not soft clean, it's not ballad clean, it's you can understand what's being said, but it's being said in a very aggressive kind of like feeling. Like, it still works with the darker undercurrent that's going on in the back with the music. You know, like that feeling, and then she's just coming in. It's like la 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 la, and it's just a dun, 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 dun. It's very simple. But it's like, it works. It has this feeling of just like I said, I want what she's having. Yeah. Like, you know, it's like I feel ya. It's been a shit day. It's shit outside. I just want to get drunk. I just want to, you know, it's also the way that, like, she's singing about what a lot of your normal dudes would sing about. Like, she's singing about, let's get drunk and let's go home.
Yeah.
I don't care who you are. It's just let's get drunk and go home together, and we'll get stoned, and whatever happens comes next.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just like, but you have to kind of read into that essentially. But it's like, it's not explicitly stated that's what's happening. but it's not something you generally have a lot of acts doing, especially with female-fronted vocalists. We're just like, you know what? I'm taking you home. Let's go.
Right.
Let's get drunk and let's fuck.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like let's get stoned. Like whatever happens is like, it's not something you generally, at least not until quite recently, I would say.
Yeah.
Where it's become a lot more acceptable socially. Maybe not acceptable, but like the pushback has begun, basically.
Yeah.
You know, like and I like that aspect of it. Like, it's just something I've not really heard before. And I'll be honest, the fact that she doesn't sound overly aggressive works.
Yeah.
For me, like that kind of style has its place, but for this song it works. I think it works really well.
Definitely. Yeah. Definitely dig her vocals, like the kind of attitude that was in like the verse. And then, like, it's just a kind of, I don't want to say absent during the chorus, but it's just, you know, it's very clean and sing-songy, but it's the attitude is still kind of there, like, underlying, you know what I mean? Just like in the approach, I guess, so.
Yeah. That transition to that you can almost see a bunch of people, arms around each other's shoulders, swaying side by side, singing la la, you know, just this tight knit little pub, and then all of a sudden the music kicks back in, and suddenly the fight's back on again.
That's one of those songs I would love to see how the crowd reacts to at a show. That is definitely a song I'd love to see, like, some live footage of for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Now, is there anything that you conversely don't really love so much about?
Not really.
Yeah,
not really. Not with these guys. Not with these guys. They know what they want to be, and they just are that. Like, they want to have fun, so they have fun, and it's just, you can't. Yeah, I don't get the vibe like from them that there's anything I really need to, like. No, nothing. Solid band.
Yes.
Like, nailed it.
I agree. 100%, my guy. 100%. So here might also be another surprise. Longma. I don't know if that's pronounced like nine music or like, you know, like sleepy time music. Like it just, but yeah, Longma by nine music. It just, wow.
She's good, isn't she?
Yo. I don't even, because this was like one of those things like, let me paint you the picture. I was at work and I was doing something I was not comfortable with, like, because, you know, there's a lot of paperwork involved with my current job, lab work, things like that. So it's kind of awful. So I wasn't really having a good time, and it just, something about that song was just. It put my head in a much better place. I did not hate what I was doing quite so much anymore. And just, I ended up listening to a couple more songs and was very just like, this is sticking around. This is gonna be. It may not be something I listen to a whole lot. Like it's gonna be kind of like mood or situational dependent, but definitely glad I found it. Definitely glad I found it. When did you first get into this stuff, man?
So I've always loved like traditional indigenous folk music, kind of that is it's been coming more and more to the fore today.
Yes,
especially when we've got the bands like the Who, the Wolf Band, and things like that, and another band that I've just recently discovered, Ortiken, who are a Siberian Aboriginal band.
Oh wow!
And the front woman is just fucking. The voice, my god! But I think it's Nini.
Nini.
She's a Chinese artist, and she plays traditional Chinese instruments. But she does like metal and rock covers of a lot of songs, and she's just like it's insane. I'm listening to this like these covers that she does, and I'm just like, she's getting like. Wow, like there's electric Chinese instruments and all the rest of it. And I'm just like, how do you get that, like, how do you get that breadth of sound out of an instrument that has two strings?
Right. That's
right.
That's definitely very.
But like, I love the way that a lot of her music is. That's all it is. Like, you can have some like traditional music, or like guitars and things in the background, or like a drum or whatever. But for the most part, the music that is front and center is all that traditional instrumentation, and she uses it to the peak of what it could be. Like, this is a very skilled woman who knows exactly what she's doing when she's playing these instruments, and it just works. Like, she sounds good. There's no vocals for like the vast majority of them that I know of. It's all instrumental, but it just, something about it, I'm just like, this woman could make any song sound epic. Like, it's just using the traditional instruments that she's got. Like, I can't explain it. Like, I stumbled across one of her videos on YouTube about a month ago, and I was hooked from then on. Like, on YouTube, she does covers of Western songs with those traditional Chinese instruments. But some of the original stuff that she does, like the traditional folk songs that she'll play, just I sail away. I do. I can't. Like, there's nothing, like, you have to experience it. Like, it's one of those things where you have to just kind of put yourself in that position and just listen to what she's playing and how well she's playing it, because it sounds simple, and when you look at the instruments, they look simple, but then as you listen further, you realize she's getting a lot out of that instrument that you wouldn't expect. Like, it doesn't sound like those noises should come out of like those two strings, but they are 100%. All of that is coming out of that instrument, and it's just the way she's bowing the strings, where she's bowing the strings, what she's put it, all the chords that she's making. It sounds at points, it sounds like a normal, like, things you would get out of a guitar that, like, with the strings pulled too tight, because that's the sound that's coming out. But it's like, I really like this. I really like this.
Well, and that was the thing about it too, was like, you know, hearing it when I was at work versus actually being able to like listen to it like with headphones, not distracted, just like full focus on the music. It was definitely very, very apparent how much more like full it was. I was missing a lot and didn't realize it before. And coming back,
there's so much warmth. There's so much warmth to that sound.
Yes.
Like, I just, yeah, it's Longma, Nini Music, Nini. She is, like, just give it a listen, expand your mind. Like, it's just, I sat here and I listened to it 3 times in a row. I couldn't stop.
Wow.
Because there was just more that I was picking out. And I'm just like, this is brilliant. I need to and I just got hooked on her, like, out of the gate. Like, wow.
That's what's
I need
up.
more. You know, covers are great, but check out the original, like, the folk stuff that she does. Oh, good lord.
So, is there anything that you can find in there that maybe you don't really love or appreciate so much, or is it all love it up in there?
The one thing, like, this is a personal thing for me, but, like, I have issues with certain pitches of music. Like, I can only tolerate so much shredding in music as well, like shredding guitars. That sound drills into the deepest core of my brain. If it goes too long, it gives me a headache. It just does. And there are some tones from some traditional Chinese instruments that have that same drilling effect. And that can, like, again, that's basically the only thing. Like, it sometimes some notes will just drill right into the core of my brain. I'm just like, oh, okay, kind of. It doesn't last long because they don't. Like, she just pulls it right back down again, and it's fine. But yeah, I could do with less of that, just on a personal level. If that's how the song goes, that's how the song goes. And I can't say much more than that. But, like, yeah, I tend to avoid those songs after I've heard them. I'm just like, okay, yeah, I'm not interested in hurting today.
Yeah, fair enough. No, that's This is definitely something I'm going to be doing some investigating into, because it was just, not only was it something I didn't expect to grab me the way it did, but it was just very like, it was very curiosity inducing for sure. It was like, okay, well, what else do you got? You know, I didn't really get too deep into what was going on, you know, with our other stuff, but I'm definitely going to be crawling down that rabbit hole for sure. Because this is one of those things that I never knew I needed for the most part.
Absolutely, like that's the thing, right? Like it feels, it's, as you said, that thing. It's just like you just need that one thing to kind of tweak before your boundary just gets pulled just a little bit further to where you need it to go, and you find some, like, your world just opens up. It's like the Matrix. Like suddenly everything's just opened up and was like, whoa. Especially when it comes to music from non-Western countries. Yeah. Because you just don't... In the West, we just generally don't get fed that unless we've gone looking for it in the first place. Yep. And, like, thankfully, my YouTube recommendations are all screwed up because, you know, I listened to The Who once. And now suddenly YouTube's sending me all of this cool stuff. And I'm just like, thank you!
Right.
I never knew this stuff was out here.
Probably never would have seen it without it, you know?
Exactly, and now I'm hooked on it.
That's what's
like it's so good.
All right, I'm fully expecting to see your eyebrows raise on this one. Wanting, getting, wanting, and I'm thinking this is Demon Dice, if I'm saying that correctly.
My girl, Demon Dice, yes,
bro.
Karen,
bro.
Oh my god, wow, yeah,
bro.
What a fucking banger of a song.
Okay, I don't listen to this stuff. I don't do it. I don't fucking do it. Like, and it's not to, you know, bash against it or anything. It just doesn't scratch any of my itches. But what really got me about the song was the lyrics. Like, just the first lines in the fucking song. I was like, I really kind of like the visual that this is kind of presenting, because like in my head, like, so it's if I remember correctly, it's what is a man to a king, or a king to a god, or a god to a demon putting up a facade. So I pictured, like, you know, like a man and then kind of zooming out, like standing behind, like, you know, kind of like a imposing king figure, and then it just kept backing up more and more and more. And I'm just like, when it came to the, you know, the demon putting up a facade part, like, it just seemed like this whole, like, kind of like, you know, the most imposing, menacing stance that it could have, just kind of slumping over. Like, it just, there were a lot of visuals associated with the lyrics of the song, and like kind of the way it flowed, like, it got me, and I was kind of like, no, I don't want this song to make the list. Like, something else has got to fucking show up during the week to fucking take its place, and it just didn't happen. It was embedded. Like, when did you first hear this? What did it like?
Oh, this song has a long history. Okay,
oh, really?
So. Yeah, Demon Dice. I discovered Karen over 2 years ago from a different song that she did with. It was a kind of a crossover between another Japanese artist. She did a song called Veritas, I believe. It's a good song. She is a white rapper, female white rapper who currently lives in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
And she is very good. Really, really good. She's hooked up with some amazing Japanese artists in the past, but I don't want to go too much into it, but she has a double life, essentially. And this EP is literally a vent EP, because there are certain things she can't do with her job, but the fandom won't quit. You know what I mean? Like, the fans won't quit. So this is this album, this EP is literally her venting in her Demon Dice persona about the fact that she's still human after all. Yes, she may actually have an incredible amount of fame, and side note, she does, trust me, she has a lot. This woman is famous, not as Demon Dice though. That's as much as I'm going to say.
Okay.
I'll let you know offline. But trust me, this woman is world famous. But like, just because, like, she's fucked up. She has serious mental issues. She acknowledges that. She has massive amounts of depression. She's a very depressed woman. She's worked her ass off for the last, 5 years to get where she is. But because of where she is now, people say that she can't complain about the fact that sometimes it gets hard because she's depressed. And that shit sucks. Like, that's all there is to it. Like, one of the lyrics is like, when you're rich and you're famous and fucking depressed. That right out there, like, it's just like, just because you have it doesn't change your brain chemistry. It just doesn't. You can't. As much as people think, fame changes you, it can. It doesn't change your brain chemistry. Fame can't change depression.
Yep.
Not chronic clinical depression. It can't. It doesn't matter. Yeah, you're better equipped to handle it. You can see therapists and get your medications or whatever, but it doesn't change the fact that it still exists, especially if it's a part of who you are.
Yep.
And it just, like, I resonated with this because there's another song. There's a lot of songs in her discography, and I do encourage you to go back and listen to them. Especially the album Alcatraz. There's a song in there called Sick Out of Habit. And this is before she even blew up. There's a song about how people out there are using, like singers out there are using depression or using the idea of depression to get famous. And there's a lyric in there. It's like it's great. It essentially goes, "It's great how you're making money off of what's killing me in real life." This woman's lyrical ability is like astounding. Like, she just has this ability to just get in your head and say exactly like you can get the feeling that she's frustrated and that's not going away, even if her other life is world fucking famous. Because at the end of the day, she's still Demon Dice. She's still Karen, and she's still got all of the problems that she said she hasn't before. That hasn't changed. And people need to stop saying that, well, you're famous now, so get the fuck over it. It's not how it works.
Right. It's not a fix. It's just a different set of problems.
Exactly. It really is. And the whole, what is a man to a king, or a king to a god? What is a god to a demon putting up a facade? That's her.
Yeah.
She is the demon putting up the facade. Mm-hmm. She is bigger than most kings, but she has that mask. No one is supposed to, like, it's an open secret, but it's still not one I'm comfortable saying.
Yeah.
For legal reasons. But like, that's the thing. Like, just because you have that fame, she's still the little Texas girl who, like, put her whole heart and soul into moving to a different country and becoming an independent rapper. A white independent rapper in Japan. Could you imagine the difficulty level that takes? Japanese rap is amazing, but it has a barrier to entry.
Yeah.
Like, it just does. And she broke it. She is in it. She is fluent, or conversationally fluent in Japanese. She raps in both. She's phenomenal. And this song, I was just like, this song came out because we were all worried that we weren't going to get another Demon Dice album because of her other life. And she dropped this EP, and I was just like, wow. Like, this EP was literally my first thing. I was just like, I loathe the rich and the famous, But I loathe I think what I loathe the most is the aspect of them that pretends everything's okay.
Yeah.
She's not doing that. She's not. She's literally out here saying, yeah, it sucks. Fame and fortune does not equal happiness. And that sunk into me. I was just like, okay. But yeah, her lyrical dexterity, her ability to, like, some may call it, like, weirdly, like, a cheat to kind of use a Japanese word to rhyme the English word. But I think that takes a lot more talent than you would expect, because the Japanese word she's using still fits.
Yeah.
It rhymes and it fits. When you take the translation of that word, it's literally a sentence, but it means what it's supposed to mean in the context of the song, and that's why it works. And I'm just like, this woman is phenomenal. Like, I can't... Yeah, I just, like... And I'm not one for rap all that much, generally. Like, I liked it as a kid, you know, every white kid did back in the early 2000s, because that was when Eminem really started going into the stratosphere.
Yep.
So us white kids had something to relate to that wasn't just the usual rap groups. And then we kind of diverged out. But I can't stop listening to Demon Dice. Like, I think she's really good. She has a great solid voice. She's not like... She's gotten better over time from the fact that she can now sing as well, instead of just rap. Because her singing confidence has grown a lot. And I just think more people need to listen to it, because she's... It's rap, but it's not rap that's glorifying the usual stuff, and it's rap that's... It's telling her story and telling it from a rawer place. Like, it's and it's about very real things that everyone doesn't really kind of get to see that side of things. That's just, yeah.
I like how she actually alluded to that, you know, in the song. Like, I feel like she did a very... The overall tone, like everything that you were saying there, I feel like basically all of that was included in that song. Like, it's just... It was definitely a very interesting listen. And just her basically just kind of speaking about, like, the actual negatives of fame. And it's just, you know, it doesn't fix it, you know. Want it, get it, still want.
Yep.
It's fucking great.
You get one thing and there's just one more thing you need to get. Yep. And you're just always going to need to keep and especially, like, one of the things I think that song taught me as well about fame is the fact that fame isn't stagnant. Like, you can't reach a level and stay there. That's not how it works. You have to keep going. Yep. You have to keep getting bigger. Otherwise, you will fall off. Because somebody else is going to get bigger than you if you don't keep on.
Yep.
And, like, that's hard work. If you're in a creative field, especially like what she is, musically as well, there's always going to be someone younger and hungrier than you who's going to overtake you if you don't keep putting in the work. And, like, when you live the life she does, it's even harder.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, I absolutely fantastic. Like, she dropped that and I was just like, shit, man, fucking, she leveled up. Like, she really did. From her older stuff to now, she leveled up. Like, mind-blowing.
So, with that being said, is there anything that you don't really find so great about song or the artist, or you just enamored fully?
It's difficult. It's really difficult. I like her as an artist in both respects. I think she's exceedingly talented. She's overworking the shit out of herself. We're likely not going to get another Demon Dice drop for some time. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the biggest thing, is that, like, I can't begrudge her, but I want more. I want more of her.
Yeah.
I want more Demon Dice. Because she's creative. She's exceedingly talented. she does all her production work almost all by herself. Like, her video work is done by her. She's an illustrator as well. Like, this woman is multi-talented and works way too fucking hard. And I want more, but I have to be patient because we're not likely to get more for quite some time. Just because she's busy elsewhere.
Yeah. And it's always unfortunate.
I'm happy. I'm very happy for her, but at the same time, like I said, I need another demon dice drop. Come on, Karen, come back.
Oh man! All right. Well,
I'm genuinely really glad for some of those songs though. Like Demon Dice. Like I love the fact that was one that got in, but I'm really happy, especially Longma, Nino Music, and yeah, like that was and all your selections, fantastic. Like I'm really happy, really happy. Like, it just beautiful.
Well, here may not be quite such a surprise, but You Cunt by Once Human, bro. Okay, so here's where it started. Right? The opening, like the intro to that song, really reminded me of Death Clock, and then once it kind of like started and came in, I'm just like, I didn't really do any research. Is that a female vocalist or is that a dude? Is it a female?
That's her. Yeah. Yep.
Bro.
The pipes on her, right?
Right. When did you find this?
Once Human dip in and out of my playlist a lot because they are pretty aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I think it's mostly because a lot of the time it's too big for me.
Yeah.
Sounding like they are very big sounding band. They're like a 5-piece, including the vocalist. Yeah, Lauren's vocals, my god. But yeah, like they've been on my radar since about 2017, on and off. But this one came along when I was really upset about, like, I was mad about something. I was really, really mad about something. I was mad at my neighbors. And this song popped up in my recommendations list, and I was like, I'll just listen to this, like, whatever. And it vibed with me, just the way she was just like, I'll break your bones, you cunt. And I'm just like, that's going up. My windows are going open, and I hope they get the fucking message because wow.
So this sounds like an instant love and not like a growing on over time.
This was an instant love, and I admit it was for the wrong reasons. But even so, like, I just love how, like, it's goofy, but it knows it's goofy, almost.
Definitely.
Even as serious as it is, like, it knows that it's going absolutely ham, and I'm just like, yep, okay, I'm here for this. And just, like, everything is just this crashing, like, you get the sense that even the instruments are screaming, you cunt. Yep. It's like everything is just directed into that spit. Like, she doesn't scream, she doesn't shout, she doesn't bellow. She spits those words. That word just is like, it becomes its own creature when it leaves her mouth. Yeah. It's just like, that thing's coming out and it's searching for the nearest person and it's breaking their fucking nose. Like, there's no that line, those two words are the audio equivalent of that video of that huge bodybuilding black guy that wanders into a Wendy's and kicks a dude. It's that. It's just woof, bang, you cunt. I'm just like, I love this so much. I just love how much power she puts into just spitting out those two words in the most, like, rage filled. Like you just want to be able to do that. You just want to be able to go to the person that's pissing you off the most and just go, oh, just spit those words and just like walk away. Just that song is just yes, so good. That is that is an amper. That amps so much.
That's what's up. So, I mean, maybe it kind of feels like this was already covered, but is there, like, what do you really love about, that song?
So, Once Human are interesting because Lauren's vocals do track a lot, like a range a lot. She has a big range. So, a lot of the time she is just doing your standard metal songs. She's got a lot of cleans in there as well. But for a lot of the time, this one was just so vastly different to what I'd heard from them before, but also not, because it's not that different almost, but they just this song just was just like it was everything I needed at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And now, like, when it comes on, I can't help but get amped up. Like, I just can't, like, it just brings that up from in me. I'm just like, yes. Like, I don't even have to be in an angry mood or a bad mood or whatever. I could just genuinely just bounce to this song. Like it's just that boom, 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 boom. It's just like that simple upward progression until she spits those two words out. And I'm just like, it's simple, but it's effective. It gets the job done.
Yes.
I'm just like, yes.
Very much so. Very much so. Very, very powerful, and the message is clear.
It has a message, and it's going to give it to you whether you want it or not. Right. And it's going to do it in the quickest way possible.
Yes. Waste no time.
Absolutely. Just so good. So good.
So, can you find anything that maybe you don't think is so top-notch, super fantastic, or are you just sold?
I can get lost when she's doing the harsh screams. Like when the verses happen, there's a lot of times where I can't catch what she's saying, just because it starts to blend together a lot. Mm-hmm. Just in the way that the vocals work in that respect. I'm sure with repeated listens, I would start to pick the words out properly, and because they are there, it's just I'm not hearing them because it might be a pitch thing. It might just be the fact that I'm not used to the tone of the way that she's vocalizing. Mm-hmm. Like it's no Titania from Ginger, basically. But yeah, it's up there, and it's got that feel where it could use a little more enunciation for me in order to be able to pick things out. But at the same time, that as much as that's a negative, it's also a positive because that works for the vibe the song's going for.
Yeah.
Because it's just pure rage, and perhaps not understanding all of it, it just works. Like it's just you're just screaming so loud and just have so much hate that your words tumble together and everything just sounds it just sounds so violently angry. It doesn't matter what you're saying. The emotion is what counts.
Yeah.
And I think that's the aim that it might be going for.
Mm-hmm.
So it works. I would like to be able to scream along with it, but at the same time, maybe I don't have to.
Fair enough.
So
feeling it can be enough.
Yeah, it's power. I just love it. So good. That is one I did expect to see on there. I would have been disappointed if it didn't show up on your list.
It was something I honestly tried to keep off of the list because I kind of made a point of trying to avoid like kind of things that were like heavier or like, more metal or expected. So funny thing is I actually had to cross a song off because I was like, I'm feeling this one way more.
That's fair.
And I know the point is to, expand the musical horizons, but I was like, I found it very interesting. You know what I mean? And I kind of felt like it was, a female vocalist just because of the way, like, her highs sounded. Like, she's very high-centric. So I really like how, like you were saying earlier, it just contrasts. You know, there's no cleans, but it just, that specific brand of like screaming just contrasted so well with the music, and I'm just like, you're not really getting like, you know, that kind of shrill from dudes. You know what I mean? It's something very different about it. You can get similar, but it's not like that. You know,
it also, to my mind, it also wouldn't have the same vibe,
right?
If it had male vocals singing the exact same song,
right.
like it wouldn't have the same, I guess, venom and power coming out of that song. Like it just, like it wouldn't. I guess it wouldn't lose much, but the fact that higher tone is just screaming out and spitting out those words just has a lot more of a punchier effect.
Yes.
That it's going for it. I think that works a lot better for it.
Yes.
And that's why I think it works. Like, I would like to, I wouldn't mind hearing a male version of it, but I think the vocals would get lost in the music.
I think it'd feel flatter, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah. I think she does an incredible job of really just spitting that venom so hard and just like, just so good. When she goes into the growls and then just swoops almost effortlessly back into the high-pitched scream register, I'm just like, marry me, are you married already? Like, I can't, like, it was, she gives me vibes of Candace from Walls of Jericho.
I haven't really heard much.
Yeah, they're another hardcore, I don't know if they're still going, but I guess that same kind of vibe. But Candace has a lot more of a lower tone, huskier resonance to it. When she screams, you know, you feel it. But it gave me that same feeling of just like when Lauren let loose, I was just like, all right, you've got my attention. Like, holy shit. And then it dips back down into the lowest guttural that she can have. She might have lower, I don't know, but when it came out and then it swung straight back up into the wow, I was just like, oh
yeah,
wow, that control, that ability to just dip back into the bass register and then straight back up into that high, like, punchy scream. I'm just like, oh, okay, that makes me feel good in all of my funny areas, and I love it. I just love it. I can't help it. I just woof. And it just, yeah, the whole song was just like, this is pure, like, this is hate, but it's directed hate.
Yeah, there's definitely a clear target.
It's just like, this song could be targeted at anyone, but it has a target. It's not just mindless rage or hate for the sake of it. It's just pure poison. I'm just like, I love this. I love everything about this.
That's what's up. Hell yeah. Well, yeah, I'm definitely going to be looking more in a free kitchen for sure. Well, I'm basically already sold on them. Like, that's all there is to it. Like, those guys are going to be in my rotation for sure. Professional Help sold me on that one. Same thing with Dirty Youth. I'm going to be doing some serious investigating on them.
I'm really happy to hear that for sure.
Dude. That was something I was so glad to find that, man. So then Nini music, I'm definitely going to be looking into that for sure. No doubt about that. I'm definitely going to... Hearing you talk about Demon Dice, I'm definitely going to be looking into that a lot harder.
I'll let you know after, but it definitely helps to know, at least for the ability to recognize just how hard she works. It helps to know what's going on the other side.
Yeah.
But even without that, you can still feel that there's some real shit in those lyrics that it's just like, wow, like, damn, bro, like, fuck. People suck, yo. Right.
Once Human's definitely going to be another another band I investigate, and that's gonna require some time for sure, because I wanna get more into that for sure.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm definitely checking out more Darko, because there's no way I can't. Like, it just that's just all there is to it. That song came on, and I was just like, all right, I'm in for this right now. Let me just find more of that stuff. Monuments, absolutely. I need more of that. Like I said, it gives me Architects vibes, which is really good. Mm-hmm. And I love Architects. I think their sound is quite powerful, and these guys give me the same vibes. Deftones, it's the Deftones. Yeah. Why would I not? Not 100% sold on Slaughter to Prevail, but every so often, like, if that song comes on, I'm not stopping.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not. We'll see how things go. Spotify will probably recommend more of them to me, and I'll check them out when they come around. But, you know, I probably won't seek them out, just because it's a lot for in terms of some of the stuff that's coming out. And Snot, we'll see. I
would highly suggest giving that album a shot.
I think I will, just because, like, it is one of those things where this is definitely one I would never have sought out. Like, the band's name is Snot. Like, I'm not 100%, like, it's one of those things where I'm just like, do I really want to have a band named Snot in my playlists just to kind of pull that one? I'm just like, okay, yep, all right, whatever. Let's go for it.
Yeah.
But something grabbed me, and I'm just like, I'm sold. I'll definitely, you know, I'll hunt down that album at least and see how it goes.
Do it.
It is not. It's not. I didn't hate it.
That's what's up.
At all. I didn't hate it at all, for sure.
I mean, that's usually at least the desired 4 words. I didn't hate it.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't hate it. Yeah.
I mean, there's always room for a chance.
Yeah. And again, like, just thanks to the glory of the way Spotify works, for good or ill, now that it's there, I'm bound to get more stuff related to it, which is only going to open things up more. So, yeah, I loved this. This was amazing. This was so much fun. Like,
I wouldn't have found these bands without this experience, honestly. Like, I would not.
Same.
No. Once Human, maybe, but any of the rest of those bands, no. No, definitely not. Would not have worked their way into my rotation or been put in front of my face, you know what I mean? So this was definitely awesome. So I've been dying for new music anyway, so this is working out in a very...
I'm always down for new music. That's part of the way where it's like I approached you. I was like, do you want to do this? Let's figure this out, because this is I feel this has legs. This is great. I did not expect this, and I absolutely loved all of these songs. I did. They were all amazing. That's why they're on the list. And there's a lot of stuff on that list, but these are the things that stood out. And I was just like, I might not seek some of this stuff out, but the fact that it's on there alone, to me, is just like, I dig this.
Yeah.
I love this. I'm going to keep going. Like, they're not coming off. So
that's what's up.
But, yeah, well, we hope you enjoyed this. It did run kind of long. We have some things to tweak on the format. But I do think it works. And I think it's going to work out real well.
Amen.
So, yeah. We hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much for listening to Swap 5! I promise I'll never do that again. But yeah, this has been the Swap 5 podcast, and we will see you on the next episode.
Adios, later hosen.
And we'll come up with some kind of easy sign-off that isn't so cliche as rock on.
Amen. Amen. We're going to figure it out.